What if there was one thing you could do to make yourself more memorable to your past, present, and future customers? Well, today I'm here to share with you how Trello is that one thing that will allow you to build and maintain strong connections with your clients, past, present, and future. I'll share with you 2 examples of how I discovered this for myself, and 2 examples of how Trello has allowed me to delight my customers in unexpected ways. Through the use of Trello, I've learned that it's not only what I do that interests my customers, but also how I do it. They're just not always aware of it. By bringing this shadow, this hidden work to the light, it has allowed me to win new business and secure repeat business. And you too can do the same. Here's my story of how I came to do this. When I first encountered Trello, 3 things drew me to it. It looked good, it got the job done, and there was confetti built in to celebrate when you finished a task. When I first saw Trello, it was like a kid seeing a ride at an amusement park, looking forward to your turn and hoping you were above the minimum height requirement. This was in 2015, and I was a member of Toastmasters, a public speaking club in Copenhagen. I had to bike 30 minutes each way to attend club meetings, always arriving late and drenched in sweat. Together with a few other club members, we got tired of sweating through these meetings, both from the bike ride and stage fright, and decided to start a new club at a more convenient location. To manage the process, one of the team members built a project plan in Trello and invited the rest of us to it. So this presentation is entitled How to Deliver Unexpected Benefits to Clients. It may as well be called How You Can Sweat Less with Trello. The board we built was basic. Various lists, 2 or 3 power-ups, a checklist or 2. But it contained everything we needed to get the club up and running. Everything from opening a bank account to registering the club. Here was a single source of truth of everything it would take to get the club moving. Everything from organizing a kickoff meeting to ordering coffee for that kickoff meeting. What Trello missed though was that once the coffee was ordered, with everything else that was going on, we had forgotten to assign a task to pick up the coffee. So we had the kickoff meeting without coffee. That's on you, Trello. I was hooked though, and soon enough I was using Trello both for work and play. At work, I managed meetings, projects, and onboarding new team members. Planning work was fun again. Outside work, I planned vacations, got ready for that first baby, and listed things to get done around the house, such as ordering a new HDMI cable. Had I been single at the time, I'd probably also have used Trello for dating. In a time when Tinder wasn't as pervasive as it is today, I could have asked potential dates to join my Trello board to discuss date ideas, share interests, and see if we had the same favorite power-ups and automations. If they didn't like the card aging power-up, that would have been a deal breaker for me. You'd know you've been ghosted when they left the board. It may be efficient, but it's probably not a good idea to add all your dates to the same board. I though mostly found Trello where it came to its own, where it was very impactful was in my work. In 2016, I quit my job and went independent. Change management for tech projects gone wrong. Yes, it's a thing. And I naturally used Trello, but I kept it to myself, and I didn't think to share it. It was a secret weapon that helped me do a better job, a competitive advantage in the cutthroat world of change management. I'll admit it, on some level, I was afraid that maybe it was too colorful, too fun to be taken seriously with the corporate clients that I worked with. Say in contrast to an Excel worksheet or Microsoft project. Then I came across this quote by Bertrand Meyer, a French mathematician and sometimes consultant. and he stated the role of a trainer or consultant is to empower the customer, not to make themselves indispensable. I wasn't aware of it in my early consulting years, that I could use how I do my work, my ways of working, to delight the customer. I could have said, I use Trello to manage projects. Here's how I do it. I use Trello to run morning huddles. Here's how I do it. I use Trello for dating. Here's how I do it. I became aware with time that my deliverables weren't just a successful go-live or hitting each milestone spelled out in my contract, but I also needed to leave behind a repeatable formula that the customer could use and not necessarily need me back for the exact same thing. And now, I'd like to share 2 examples that really helped drive this home for me. The first use case is at a facilities management company with over 300,000 employees that is rolling out a new workplace experience system for its customers. Before we began using Trello, we didn't have a clear overview of the different customer learning plans and their progress towards execution. We had to draw out this information client by client, email by email, and different PowerPoint or Excel template by different PowerPoint or Excel template. With the global nature of the training program we were running, this lack of an always up-to-date overview led to increased stress levels for everyone involved, missed deadlines, and even several customers that had gone live unfortunately asked to be rolled back to the previous solution. So what I did is I put together an overview of where we were. This was for my own sanity in Trello and shared it at a meeting. It became clear in one view what our progress was, where the blockers were, and where gaps in our plan existed. Now that our status was clear, we could accurately track and accelerate every customer migration. It became clear how the different customer migrations were tracking against each other and allowed us to dedicate more resources to the migrations that were lagging. When I left this customer, it was to take an extended leave to go on paternity. Now, when I was ready to come back to work, the world had changed. This was the same time that COVID-19 hit. Which brings me to my second case, which was the implementation of an enterprise architecture tool at a global shipping company. Now, we all have our story of how COVID affected our work. In my case, when COVID-19 hit, work dried up, at least for an IT learning project manager as myself. No one was really looking at starting new projects at this time. Companies were rightly focused on securing existing business and ensuring the safety of their employees, and not necessarily implementing new systems. So I pivoted and I retrained those first few months to become an instructional designer and e-learning developer. When companies finally came up for air after that first wave, I got my first role developing an e-learning course to replace what had previously been face-to-face training. As a one-man company, all my competitors during the tendering process, all these companies that I looked up to and hoped to emulate one day, had entire development teams, a sales force, and a marketing budget behind them. What I had, though, in my proposal was a link to a Trello board of how I'd envisioned running the project. So when I was invited to the second round to present my proposal, I naturally pulled up the Trello board. It showed the various activities, timelines, and dependencies required to deliver the project. Oh yes, and also that all-important confetti when a task was complete. The client could already picture the project in action, and maybe on a subconscious level, me running it. This visual element, I believe, is a big part of why I won over more established companies. It's also how I kept the client on board during the difficult times, by showing every inch of progress towards a complete e-learning course. We could see where there was progress and where we were stuck, and who was responsible to get us moving again. Mostly me as the contractor. I asked the client to verify each completed task and mark the card as completed. I'd even set up an automation where all they had to do was click a checkbox to move the card to the done list after verification. But the client much preferred the tactile feel that Trello provides from dragging and dropping the card to get that explosion of confetti. I'd like now to recap these two customer cases. In the first case, the use of Trello was initially incidental before growing. In the second case, it was deliberate. Both times, it made a huge difference to the projects and my business and the customer satisfaction. In the first case, the client could see in real time how the project was running. In the second case, they could already visualize us running the project together, even without a signed contract. In both cases, the client loved the confetti. What I took away from these experiences, and I think you too can do the same, is all it requires is a new level of transparency from you, the vendor, to your client, showing how the project will come together. Essentially, what's behind the curtain, that's behind the curtain. If you're thinking about how to grow your business and increase your win rate, how you work is just as important as the work you do. Show the customer the tools you use, share your enthusiasm for them, teach them how to use them and get them on board, make them an insider into your company. Show the customer how you'll make their lives easier long after the project is over and you've left. Compared with a competitor who is opaque in their methods and what they present is complex and snooze-inducing, you're the surer choice, you're the trusted choice. That'll get you the job and keep the client coming back. For past clients, you're both memorable and can jump back into the organization with ease as they're working with your tools and also to your exacting standards. For your present clients, it builds trust and momentum. There's an enhanced level of both of these points. And for your future clients, your bid will stand out over the other abstract proposals that the client has to sit through. They can already visualize what you'll do for them, and this will win you the business. Cue the confetti. Now, just don't miss the go live by too many days. Hopefully, from these two customer cases, now you can see how Trello is a tool that can allow you to delight your customers in unexpected ways. We're all here at Team 22 to learn, to network, and yes, to have fun. You'd maybe plan to set up meetings with clients you used to work with. Maybe you already have meetings set up with your existing clients, or there's someone that you hope to work with in the future here as well. I hope that you'll be able to use Trello to add a different dimension to how you could work with this customer in the future. I hope that each of you takes the time to see how the lessons I've learned, the experiences I've shared, can help you in your own customer journeys. Thank you.